Russians were our allies during World War II. By the end, decisions had to be made soon. How to divide Europe into different spheres. This division would cause so many tears. Harry S. Truman came to be our 33rd president, as we will see. After Roosevelt had nothing left to fear, Harry S. Truman said the buck stops here. When Truman had to stop Japan from doing more, he decided to use nuclear war. So many were killed, but lives were saved because Japan, America didn't have to invade. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game, escalating tensions, both sides the same, building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff? After the war, we were rolling again. The only thing that threatened was communism. The Soviets vowed to see it spread until capitalism was very dead. Truman was tough, he drew the line. In 1950, it was time to save Korea from the communist threat. After 3 bloody years, the war would end. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game, escalating tensions, both sides the same, building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff? The president elected in 1952 led the Allied forces during World War II. His name was Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was always there when things went sour. He had some success in foreign affairs, trying to save the world from nuclear nightmares. He built interstate highways to get anywhere fast. Peace and prosperity came together at last. The Soviets launched a satellite called Sputnik, you see. We launched Explorer, and everyone agreed that the race for space had started and would never end. Eisenhower was strong, he would never bend. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game, escalating tensions, both sides the same, building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff? John Fitzgerald Kennedy was 43 when in 1961 he got the presidency. The new frontier was the vision he saw, a blueprint to be followed by America. He helped start the Peace Corps to work overseas and helped to stamp out our country's racist disease. He also said that we should shoot for the moon, cause the scientific reward would be a boon. The Soviet Union tried putting missiles in Cuba, you see, brought our planet to the edge of World War III. Kennedy was stubborn, he didn't back down, made the Soviets dismantle them and turn around. Kennedy was killed by a sniper's gun. After so much promise, his life was done. To remember his achievements in the life he gave, an eternal flame burns to mark his grave. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game, escalating tensions, both sides the same, building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff? Lyndon Johnson knew the ins and outs from a lifetime of government service jobs. A congressman, senator, vice president too. When Kennedy was killed, he became president too. Johnson had a vision of a great society where everyone was equal, strong, and free. He declared a war on poverty and brought in new health programs for the elderly. Johnson was a champion of civil rights.
Hey, look for them, Scooby.
Okay.
Something fishy's going on here, Scooby. We solved the mystery of the Black Knight ages ago. Have you found any clues?
I don't know. There was a spooky groundskeeper.
A spooky groundskeeper?
Yeah, and ghosts and monsters.
Scooby-Doo, you know there's no such thing as monsters and ghosts. Remember the first time we met the Black Knight? We thought he was a monster, but really he was just a guy in a mask. Aha! I found him! Jinkies, the lenses got knocked out.
Here's some lenses, Velma.
Thanks, Scooby. I can't see a thing without these. Jinkies, Scooby, it's the Creeper!
The Creeper? Where?
He's everywhere! Run, Scooby!
Velma, wait! I don't see any Creeper.
Why, hello there.
Hello?
I'm Professor Alexander Graham. And you found one of my amazing invention crates. Let's see now. What's in this one? Oh, here we go. Well, inside this box, you should either find my automated herring scraper or my anti-stick galoshes. Oh, looks like it's the galoshes. With these, you can walk across any sticky surface and not get stuck. And best of all, they're banana flavored. Oh, banana. My favorite.
Against a lot of people he waged a fight. He believed that everybody should have the same chance to be successful and to make a name. He tried to fight the communists in Vietnam. The war was getting bigger, but he took a stand to beat them back and let freedom in. But America was in a place they couldn't win. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game. Escalating tensions, both sides the same. Building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff? Richard Nixon was Eisenhower's vice president. In 1960, he ran for president, but he lost the election to Kennedy. For 8 more years, he wasn't seen. In 1968, he won the vote. It was very close, we should know. The first thing he did was try to win the peace and sit down at the table with the North Vietnamese. This giant step for mankind came. In 1969, this brought the astronauts fame. But the protests against the war in Vietnam demanded stronger action to bring peace to that land. To do that, he had to end the Cold War, so he tried diplomacy with their communist foes. He went to China and Russia too, to make the world a safer place for me and you. Nixon was the first president to resign. In 1974, it took up all his time answering to the scandal of Watergate. He had to leave the White House in disgrace. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game. Escalating tensions, both sides the same. Building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff? Gerald R. Ford was a vice president who got the top job after Nixon went. He had been a congressman for 25 years. He had much experience, that was clear. He was the first president not to be elected, because as vice president he'd been appointed. He continued on the path that Nixon had begun in trying to make the world a safer one. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game. Escalating tensions, both sides the same. Building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff?
The profiles of Imvu fap.
Break the mold. It's a warp day.
From a small southern town, he was a naval officer who'd been around. A businessman, a peanut farmer from Georgia he came. In 1977, the presidency he claimed. He moved to change the way the government works. If it doesn't work efficiently, it drives us all berserk. He got us to conserve during the energy crisis, expanded national parks. The nation enjoyed this. He engineered the Camp David Accord between Israel and Egypt. A deal was forged. It brought about a friendship between ancient enemies. Jimmy Carter should be proud because he did succeed. Some Americans were held hostage in Iran. Carter made every effort to free them. He didn't succeed in making a deal, and his bid for re-election failed. Washington and Moscow in a deadly game. Escalating tensions, both sides the same. Building bigger weapons, calling their bluff. Would the world survive all this Cold War stuff?
Welcome to the official Peppa Pig channel and the home of Peppa on YouTube. We have created a world of Peppa with episodes, clips and compilations to keep even the most dedicated Peppa fans happy.